Let's face it. Most people also share this sentiment. I'm afraid to say that out loud. They conceal their identity because they dislike you behind fake praise from Smiles Hollow. I've been there. I also assumed that someone was simply a friend, to find out that they were really hoping. My downfall is harsh, but here's the truth. If you don't see the signs, you'll just waste your time and spend time with those who are truly incapable. I understand. So let's move on. BS and talk about how to tell if someone doesn't like you but is trying to hide it. You might not like what you hear, but it's better. Face the truth instead of living in denial. They often joke about rejection. People constantly make fun of your flaws. Everyone is familiar with at least one individual who struggles with imperfections and who likes to play more when they'll pick at your joke. Weird things you do wrong little. They do wonderful things with a smile on their faces. Simply put. I'm kidding, initially. It appears secure, but let's be cautious. Don't deceive yourself. These jokes often contain more than just joking around. Planned jabs that are cleverly disguised. As there are jokes that aim to make you feel uncomfortable, little by little, I recall a time when my self-esteem was low, when I was with someone who seemed to talk about me all the time, what I wore, how I talked. I initially worked on projects. I dismissed it with a laugh, believing it was all in my head, fun at first. But as the night went on, I saw that this was always what the jokes were about. My flaws were never at my strengths. It wasn't long before I started to doubt myself and wonder if I was the issue. These mistakes were just as obvious as they were. This is where the people who get into trouble always make jokes about your flaws. Aren't doing it because they care. We're exposing it to gauge its impact. If you treat someone badly, they will take it. A way for them to get what they want. Demonstrate your strength while maintaining your control. Where you are, they will tell you in no time, without a doubt. You are beneath them. And the sneakiest part is that they get it. We've been able to get away with it. We are taught to think that if we can't, just kidding, we have the I'm sorry. But let's change the story. I'm here to tell you there's nothing. Not being able to stand up for yourself when a joke can be taken too far. In fact, it can be important. You deserve to be there. People who make you feel good. Not people who, just for the sake of amusement. I will knock you down. Real friends don't have to say. Embrace your flaws to feel better about yourself. They praise your skills as well, and help you get through your flaws without making you look bad. I've witnessed this phenomenon numerous times. Again, people who allow these kinds of jokes to fall because people believe they are easy to maintain. It's better to maintain peace than to cause a disturbance. But the deep truth, which lets others be rude to you even in the fairest way, is unacceptable. It starts with a slippery slope. However, over time, those jokes may become dated. They may wear you down and make you question your worth. And the more you let it be, the more they will push you to the point of doubt. Because you didn't want to look like I had to learn this the hard way. I discovered this by laughing along. I was telling them they could keep moving forward. I participated in the disrespect I displayed. I didn't start pushing back until I saw a difference in setting limits. Change was not limited to how they treated me, but when I saw myself, I stopped. I am letting what they say define me. I took charge of my story. So here it is. What to say the next time someone makes fun of you? Don't just laugh it off. First, ask yourself, is this really funny? Is there more going on here? If the answer is no, don't be upset. If you're afraid to call them out, making you feel bad, it might even end. You may have friends, but you lack respect. The value is not as high as someone else's. Life's too amusing in the end. Spending time with others can be short. Who can't appreciate the value of your idea? Friendship is always about making the point. It's time to embrace your flaws and find new ones. People who really care about you. Nobody will ever have to put you down. They want to look good. So stand tall, don't be quiet. And don't let anyone put you down. Second, they say nice things about that. They say nice things that hurt, like insults, sting like ill words. We've all been there. Says nice things about you, but instead of feeling joy, you find yourself alone, having a sour taste, like you've a leather glove smacked me. It's the type of praise that matters. You stop and ask yourself, was that a something nice or mean? And here's the harsh truth is that most of the time it's both. These compliments are intended to cause pain. A clever, almost covert way for people to hurt you while acting like they kindly. I remember a time when I was occupied with a significant task. Great pride in after putting in finally. After many hours of hard work, I shared it with a group of coworkers. I thought one of them was a fan, grinned and exclaimed, "This is amazing. This is very beneficial for someone like me." I was stunned as I stood there on the surface. It looked like praise, but these are my final words for someone like you. What did that? It hit me like a ton of rocks. Was I not supposed to be even mean? Be able to do good things? Here, the focus is on the work itself. These so-called compliments are filled with false information. With a goal they're not supposed to have, they are designed to make you feel better. It's an attempt to assert your authority. Make room for the person who is complimenting you to show how much better they were while making you have doubts about your own skills. There, I can see you're trying, but you'll never succeed. Be as good as I am. It's dangerous, but it's wrapped in such. The box is so beautiful that it almost catches your eye. Let's be honest. Poison inside flatter people behind their backs, not sure of themselves. They see you're thinking about your strengths, scares you, so they use these sneaky digs. This will keep you on the edge of your seat. This is to prevent you from becoming overly intoxicated. It feels gratifying, while the holds you down with the, but this is where it gets even more controversial. We've all done it at some point, maybe not on purpose, but all of us have let our fears show. When someone compliments you, it feels good to help someone remember where they are. But here's the deep lesson you don't know. I have to put up with this fake hatred. You have the ability to decline it. Examine it for the true meaning it conveys. Their personal fears do not serve as a gauge. How much someone says you're worth, you're smarter than you appear, or this is a positive development. Since you're new to this, don't you must absorb everything or confront it. Embrace the reality, even if it exacerbates the situation. It's awkward because if you don't, you'll let them tell you how to see. You have power over yourself, and you should use it. I've learned not to give up on anyone, to understand what these comments mean. They look like someone else in a mirror, someone else's worries, and when you see that it stops being painful. Instead of, when you think about it, you almost want to laugh. They took the day off because they had work to attend to. The words they use reveal more about them than any other will now be about you. So this is what I do when I get praise that isn't meant for me. I don't let it go. I'll respond, "Thanks, but what do you want?" But this means it makes them, they concealed an insult in their words. Most of the time it puts them on they instantly recognize your presence. I'm not playing their game. And I think it's great how fast they change their tune. The don't let anyone's cover get in the way. Negativity should tell you if there's I have a kind friend and a jealous coworker. Perhaps someone in your family remembers this. You're worth what you say you're worth. Praise should make you feel good, not sad. If something someone says makes you feel bad, it can bring you down. Having doubts about yourself, it's time to, instead of living there, ask them about their plans. Is too short to be wasted on people who you can't really enjoy your successes. Get close to people who can see you. They know how valuable you are and won't hold back from telling you. Get to know it without any ties, connected to three that quietly leave you out. They subtly exclude you from their plans. Plans, it's the little things that stings the most. Like learning that you're what they called friends forgot to, I would like to invite you to that party or dinner. They will vouch for the weekend trip. We didn't realize it was the final 1-minute thing, or even worse. They'll think you were already overly occupied, but let's be honest. This is not a mistake, it's a social event. This is the most insidious method of excluding someone. This is a clear indication that they don't value you as much, because you think I have too many memories of how this ended. One weekend, I noticed something on my phone. Shots of a bunch of friends I had a great time at an event. Loved too. No one came to the kicker. I had previously discussed it with you, bragged about it later. We thought you were full of lies. They either made the plan at the last minute or were busy, but I knew the truth. If they desired my presence, they would have made arrangements. I was sure I knew about it. And this is where the trouble begins. Being left out isn't just careless, it's on purpose. It's a way to send the message contains no words. They desire your presence, yet they lack the necessary resources, bravery to tell you straight out. They want you to disappear from the scene. Group calmly without making a fuss. It's rude without being rude. And it's not only cowardly, but also very common. Not many people talk about this. It's easy to act as though something isn't true. It's simpler to comprehend what's happening at that moment. Reason to tell yourself that it's not was only a mistake, instead of you're being hurt. So face it, pushed out. But here's the thing, if you don't stop making those arguments, giving them approval to keep leaving out, you're letting them make your, rather than taking. I had to take charge of my own story. I had to learn this the hard way for a while. Stayed quiet, letting those wrong, leaving out, SL. Maybe next time I'll be able to include it. But then I understood that I allowed myself to remain silent. Be taken as I had an idea, so I took action. I began calling them out, which caused a stir. I'd say, "Hey, I saw you guys go. Why didn't anyone go out last weekend? It wasn't easy to invite me." And it caused discomfort, but also forced them to face how people act. And guess what the dynamics are? Some people got defensive when things changed, tried to make it up. But the bottom, it was clear that I wasn't going to let. They didn't fight to keep me out. So if people want you in, the message is clear. They will work hard to make their lives better, no matter how late it is. Let's include you. If they fail to adhere to the plan, it's time to reconsider their usefulness. Being with people you deserve to be with is important. People who don't make you feel like you are always running after their like or respect from true friends. Don't forget to ask you. They make ensure your presence as they truly need you. I enjoy spending time with you, so they are silently excluding you. Plans shouldn't ignore it. They should confront it head on. It's clear that it wants to be. Prepare yourself to receive the answers, regardless of their complexity. Not what you want to hear, because ultimately, it's more beneficial to understand the location. You risk falling behind. I'm uncertain as to why we excluded you once again. Don't forget that you're not a backup plan. You're important. So surround yourself with people who are kind to you. 4. They're only busy when it comes. You've heard it before, right? I'm so sorry, I can't hang out right now, I'm too busy. It's a valid reason. After all, when you're not busy, what do? Begin to see a pattern. They're always available for other people to post pictures of. They travel to catch up with each other, friends. But you all of a sudden they're slammed. It's cold. In reality, they aren't overly occupied. I've been occupied. I've been too busy for you. I have encountered difficult situations more times than I can count. I remember trying to get in touch with a friend of mine used to be close to me. Always schedule a time to catch up. I informed them about a topic they were interested in. I apologize, but I'm working late and have a lot of tasks to complete. What I need to do could potentially be done next week. I saw them hanging out with each other. Somehow. Everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Always make time for everyone else completed the task faster than me. I have more to say than I'd like to. The way they were sending the message, they made it very clear to me that I wasn't important. No longer in their lives. This is where the when trouble comes up. We've been in order for busy to be a real reason to ignore. But let's be people who are honest, make time for who and what. They care about whether they're always being busy isn't about you. Their plans are about them. That's a tough pill to swallow. You have to swallow because it makes you. Deal with the fact that you might not be as important to them as you are to yourself. The harsh reality is that being busy is of importance. It's a polite way to say, I don't. They would prefer to spend time with you if they so choose. They claimed that it was part of their schedule. Rather than say they're deciding not to, it's a privilege to allow you into their lives. There's a method, either passive or aggressive, to maintain your attention. Arm's length without having to deal with the fights that would happen with they want to keep telling you the truth. You're responsible, just in case. Putting money into the relationship, I've been on both sides of that. There were times when I'm sorry. I didn't know how to inform someone that I'm no longer interested in friendship. But getting pushed around, the end taught me something important. It's preferable to be truthful, regardless of the circumstances. Less painful than to string someone. Along with reason why I finally called out my friend complained about being constantly busy. Although it was awkward to talk. Important. It gave me the clarity I had to move on, spend my time, and love and energy were present in the relationships I was in. It was worth it. And here's the profound lesson. Your time and energy are valuable. Don't waste it on people who can't be there. I have taken the time to see you is always too busy for you. It's time to look at the being with someone you deserve to be with is important. There are people who are happy to see you, try to include you in their plans. Lives. Not just when it's helpful for, they do it because they truly enjoy it. It's important to know about your business. The people change. And so there are ties that we hold on to. People do things out of habit, fear or nostalgia, being alone, even when it's clear that I have moved on. But it's good to let go. Go ahead and accept that you deserve it. It's more than just someone's extra time. It's not about being needy or demanding. Consider how much you value your ability to walk. Stay away from people who don't care about you. They try to stay away from direct contact at all costs. 5. They stay away from physical touch with the let's address the significant issue at hand, touching in the room, or rather we're not merely discussing a shortage. Relationships between people here. Contact is an important part of being human. This is a way to get to know each other and build trust. What does it mean when someone leaves to stay away from even the just to touch base? The answer isn't pretty. What does it mean? They're sending a strong message that they feel bad being around you, and now is the time to pay attention. I had a coworker who seemed to back away when I extended my hand for a handshake. I first got a friendly pat on the back. I initially believed I was seeing things, but then, once I realized that it wasn't just me, I feel warm and close to everyone else, but it was like I had the virus, which I quickly came to understand, that they avoid touching each other. It wasn't just a quirk, it was a conscious effort was made to keep me at distance, is where things get tricky. It's normal to touch each other, getting to know people, and when someone consistently stays away from it, they're showing that you're not comfortable or there is a link. But some people simply aren't aware of it. While it's acceptable to be affectionate, only when they're comfortable hugging does it happen. Others. But stand your ground around you. It's a sign that something is wrong. They might not dislike you enough to say, their body language is clear, but let's take the lead in conversation. We've all experienced both sides, to be honest. on both sides of the problem. You may have they didn't shake hands or lean back because someone got too close, wasn't feeling it. Or maybe you have being the one who received it. I was left wondering why. It seems like someone always flinch when being around you makes me feel bad. Strange. And it's often a sign that the it doesn't have the strength you'd like. As tempting as it may be, here's the truth. Truth. Touching someone is a basic. Being human is part of who we are. Show care, trust, and warmth if someone avoids it with you. They're not I am simply avoiding contact at this moment. Being close, intimate, and open. They're not letting you get close. The claim encompasses both physical and metaphorical aspects. There is a clear sign that the relationship is fundamentally flawed. I've learned to pay attention to these things. Clues. Even if it's tough to say what they mean, that I ignored the signs, telling myself that the reason someone didn't want to get close was it's just a mental trait. But the more I considered it, the more it became clear to me it was about me and where we stand. When I finally resolved the issue, it made us have some tough talks and sometimes the end of the friendship. But it also freed me from I'm struggling to comprehend the reasons behind events. I didn't feel right. So let's get straight to the point. When someone says not to ignore the signs, stay away from touching you, it's more than just a choice. It's what do they believe about their level of happiness? And get in touch with you if you see. Don't be afraid to talk about this trend. It might lead to a more in-depth discussion, understanding, or it could show that you think the relationship is strong, but it's not. I thought it would be better I would rather face the truth than live in denial. Avoid denial and remember what you deserve. Relationships where you touch each other, while it's not something to be avoided, something that just happens, and feel at ease. Whether it's a friendly hug, shaking hands, or just being close without having to feel weird, these use body language to demonstrate trust and connection. Someone always stays away from them. There's a clear indication that something is amiss. I'm not prepared to pose the challenging questions. Make the tough decisions if necessary. Picks. Life is too short to be. They go away. Being around people who keep you at ease is important. The distance between sixth. Figuratively. They go away when you need help. Let's be honest. Nothing shows what kind of person when the relationship is in trouble. When things get bad, you figure out who you are. What does it say about someone when they disappear when you need it most? It's not just it's a clear indication that something is not quite right, that they don't care about you as much as you may have thought. And let's be honest, when someone disappears, when things are at their worst, it's upsetting and a loss of trust. I learned this the difficult way during a very rough time in my life. I was going through a difficult period in my personal life, something that really shocked me at my heart. I automatically turned to the people. I thought about close friends who were expecting some kind of help, even if it's only a text or call. But guess what? What noise the people I thought would be there for me. All of a sudden, I have every excuse in the book because I'm so busy. Work. I'm sorry, I'm so busy. Right? Next time, I'll check in with you. Alert, they didn't do it. And it's right here. Stirs up trouble. People love to talk about it. I will always be there for you, but when things get tough, many of they're only there for the fun times. They'll have fun with you and laugh with you. Enjoy the best parts of your life, but as soon as things get real, they can't be found. So it's easier for them. It's better to avoid being with you than to feel your pain, or in pain that they don't want to be in, dragged into your issues because it appears that they don't care enough to bother showing up. Let's be honest, when it counts, real honest help, isn't about, it's about being there when you need to be. It's tough when things are tricky and when you don't want to do it. People who leave you when you need them to. Most of them aren't just being, they're demonstrating their rudeness just where you are in their life. Their words don't make sense. I bear in mind that issues are not worth my time. I feel absolutely terrible when I knew the people I'd been there with. For when they broke up in the past, their home problems and their work setbacks didn't try to come back. It served primarily as a wake-up call. It was a good experience. But I also learned something from it. I had to learn that not everyone who smiles is happy. Your face is truly on your side. This is deep message support. The basis of any useful being around someone makes it easy. Things are going well. But the real how people act in a relationship is a sign of how well it works. Answer when things go wrong. If someone leaves when it's necessary, they're not just failing you. You can see that they were never really there to begin with, but don't be upset that they're not there. Use it to get better, to get rid of the people who don't. Those people deserve a place in your life. Who stays? Who checks in? Who shows up? Those that show up even when it's not handy are the important people, and those, what kind of relationship do you have? In the end, one should love and care for. We don't have time to waste. Fair weather friends should be around you. There are people who will be there for you, storm and not just enjoy the sun. Because when you find those people who stay when things get tough, you've discovered something valuable, something to hold on to. And for those who leave them alone, they've already told you the truth. They talk about you in 7 colors. They talk about you in the news. Behind your back, talk is what makes society work. It's poison that spreads faster than fire and can hurt relationships in a right away. The thing about rumors is that it's not always as fair as people claim. Out to be when someone you think of as when a friend talks about you behind your back. Not just telling a safe story, they are intentionally trying to break your trust, how people see you and your friendship. And let's be honest, if people talk badly about you, it's a clear sign. They show no concern for you. I've seen how lovely they are in person. Been the subject of rumors before, and it's one of the most heartbreaking events. There was a time I told someone something I thought it was about a close friend. I needed to discuss a serious matter, take some of the weight off my shoulders. I knew this guy would keep it safe, not between us. But within days of the talk began to spread. It was stretched and twisted. Akin to phone game without the message wasn't just getting lost. Used against me, the person I love had weakened me for other people's pleasure. Here's the people who tell difficult truths and talk. You aren't just making noise or talking. Be concerned that they're attempting to consolidate their power. For them, talk is a way to get ahead, making fun of you while putting you down, all without having to talk to you. Straight up, it's weak and dishonest. That's not all. They're also harmful. They are hurting your image, the very base of trust that any real let's get to know each other better. Straight people talk about other people. About other people you will talk about for some. It's a pattern, not a coincidence. One-time event. I've seen it happen too, a lot of times. You can count someone who loves to tell everyone the tea all at once. Guess it's quiet when they're around. I think they're spilling your tea when you're not there. It's a lie. The worst kind because it's done. In the darkness didn't give you a chance to protect yourself or even understand here's where the interesting part begins. A really personal issue I remember facing. The friend who talked badly about me, being prepared for an apology is crucial. At least provide an account of what they did instead. They postponed it as if it were insignificant, as just some friendly chatter. But news about other people is never true. It is not harmless. It is a clear deception, simple. And it says a lot more about the person who is spreading it than it is about the person it's about. It's important to confront the friend about their behavior and set boundaries to prevent future gossip. Remember, true friends should support and uplift you, not tear you down with rumors and lies.